Welcome everybody to the room again. Thank you for showing up. We got 10 minutes, seconds to the open. It's on Friday, the 5th of October. Wow. Okay. Dow. Let's put that Dow at a 6. I should not be at a 4. Dow gave a sell signal right out of the gate. Let's try to give it a second to figure out what it wants to do. We're kind of bouncing around here on the NASDAQ. I would suspect we're going to get a lot of volatility there. Dow here is in Chop City. The crude oil is coming back up. I do not have the Russell up today. I'm watching it over here on the side. It's nothing to write home about. All right, looks like the NASDAQ was trying to poke its nose up. It's pretty much in chop. Watch for NASDAQ to break below 7,500. It's going to be a key level. We broke 75 on the Dow, the NASDAQ. Here comes a continuation candle for the NASDAQ. It's a little extended though. But we've seen the last couple of days you can stay extended. I put the Russell back up. Down S&P and chop. They're basically trying to figure out what they want to do. Dow gave a sell signal right down here at 639. It's going to go right back up into chop and cancel that. If it gets over 663. S&P just coming back in. NASDAQ did a bounce. We've been down to 639 twice now since the open on the Dow. Right here. I have a NASDAQ short signal here. Not sure how I believe that with the momentum oscillators all going higher. Get a little bit of a rally in the S&P and the Dow. Nasdaq's now back in the chop. Let's see if it gets back below 74.90. Like that 29.12 in the ES is going to be a key level. Now we get a buy signal in the NASDAQ, and as it goes up to 75, 75.12, 75.14, something like that. Maybe up in here. Not sure if it's got enough legs for that. We'll see. Looks like it does have the legs. That was a continuation candle a couple ago. And, yep. Up to regular trading hour high on the NASDAQ. Are we going to go up to 75.22 or not? Russell gave his sell a buy signal, that is, and nothing in the S&P or the Dow yet. Let's go to a 3-minute here on the S&P. We're up at the pre-market highs around 8:30, so we've recovered all of that loss so far in the S&P. Up at a swing level on the NASDAQ. We got a belated buy signal in the Dow right here at 666. That's some sort of omen. We've got a really belated buy on the S&P down there. Dow's pulling back. S&P's going higher. Nasdaq's consolidating right at about 75.30 to 75.25. That's a 5-point consolidation. And it looks like the S&P is trying to pull back as well. Let's see if we can move this swing level up and this swing level down. In chop in the Dow. Kind of a grind higher in the S&P. We're pulling back a little bit in the NASDAQ, and the Russell's going higher. Russell has 1657 is a swing level above the stuff you can see here. Crude's not doing anything, it's in chop. S&P going higher to go back to retest the high, maybe. Russell pulling back. NASDAQ just kind of consolidated here right around, well, what, 15 to 30. That's 15 points. That's a bit much. I'm watching to see if NASDAQ breaks 18, 75.18. Only problem we've got is that congestion starts at around 12. And it's kind of in chop mode. Nah, the Dow's about ready to fall out of chop.
Order pending.
If it goes back up from here, I'll cancel the short in the Dow. S&P's hanging around the highs. It's a key candle on the Dow. That's a bit of an early sell signal in the Dow here. It's pretty much a chopped area.
Order canceled.
All right, we're in definitely chopping the Dow. I'm out of there. Sorry, out meaning I canceled the short. Okay. Chop City and the NASDAQ could be flatter. Kind of a grind higher in the Russell. I say that, and then it's pulling back. volatility flip in the Russell. Chop chop in NASDAQ. Chop chop in Dow. Grind higher kind of in the S&P. Dow's trying to go a little higher here. 690 would be an area, 685, something like that. It's not tradable in my opinion though. Even if it works. It did get a buy signal here at 661, but that's in the middle of chop. Not a high probability. The S&P, the ES has a buy signal at 29.14. Crude going nowhere. NASDAQ wants to go up to the highs. How is that? Okay. S&P getting closer to that buy signal at 29.14. NASDAQ is pulling back. NASDAQ gave a short signal. It's very aggressive. We're only just barely rolling over right now. Dow's in the middle of chop. Russell gave a short, but it's in the middle of chop. S&P's hanging near the highs. I'm watching the NASDAQ pretty closely here. Potential short. Below about 16.
Order filled.
Alright. See if we get any follow through to the downside there.
Target filled.
lost control of this puppy.
Order filled.
Okay, I got about 50 on the last one. It's reacting right here at this swing level. It could roll back over and go lower, but I had enough. Especially when I lost control of being able to set the trailing stop. Weird. Okay, I kind of punched a little lower. And let's see if this goes below 7,500. Yeah, that's a continuation pattern in the NASDAQ. See if it gets any follow through. The momentums are fairly well extended, so I wouldn't think it's going to work. Yeah, and it's having trouble getting below 75.02. The Russell's showing a short. Its support levels around 1651 or so. The Dow flirted with the low of the day, and the S&P's pulling back. If the Dow goes lower from here, a red candle, it would be a continuation move lower. But right now, it doesn't seem to want to be doing that. Not sure how much lower it would go, but I guess.
Order pending.
I've got to sell short in the Dow. Don't like.
Order
I'm
canceled.
gonna cancel it even if it works. Problem is we're flat. We're in chop. NASDAQ did go lower after that continuation stop or consolidation level, I guess. And the Russell short's still working. Well, there were about 10 to 12 more points in the NASDAQ that I got. So they've been having trouble with limit orders. Well, that's probably because it's moving so darn fast. Which is why I normally say go with market orders. The limits just don't work in a really fast market. And you're not going to get a lot of slippage with on a normal day. You might get if it's really, really fast, you might get some today. But, I mean, the most I've ever seen, I believe was 3 or 4 ticks, which is a lot. But that's when the market was just screaming. I'm seeing a couple of tick spreads in the NASDAQ quite often. We're getting 2 tick spreads, which is a little bit unusual. We usually only get about 1. If I put up a super dom, will you be able to see that? Can you see this? No, you can't see my DOM. Hopefully, if I get that new graphics card in, that you guys will be able to see. Okay, the Dow's coming near that short, and there it is. And the CPT shows the short now.
Order filled.
See if we get any follow through to the downside on the Dow. Look for a reaction here. Dow 23.
Order canceled.
I took one off the table. I'm not sure whether it's going to continue lower or not. See what we can get here. Trying to give it a little bit of room here. It's reacting quite well. Oh, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Order filled.
All right, I had trouble again with the order trailer. It kind of crapped out on me, so I went ahead and closed. I tell you what, guys, I'm done. I'm up 430 for the day, and I'm not going to push my luck any further. Especially since I've had a couple of anomalies in the and setting trailers and targets, so I may need to do a reboot here of the system. Russell's going lower, NASDAQ's going lower, and for some reason I keep getting behind in that NASDAQ. It looks like it's getting almost to target 3. Yeah, it hit target 3 on that short. Target 3 was 76 ticks on this one. Well, you know what? I've kind of figured out that on Fridays I've had such horrible luck that I really do that. I make it really work in my favor on Fridays. I need to do that for the rest of the week as well. I've had a pretty horrible week, so it's nice to finish on a good note. I hate to see that the make it get on the short side where the markets are this week. It's not the way I'd like to make it. Looks like the S&P's coming down to a sell. Yeah, less than 30 minutes. We've had some volatility here, guys. Let's figure this is not available. Okay. Well, are we ready for ourselves to get a little bit of an upside bounce, a reversion to the mean, maybe? Yeah, the Dow wasn't so bad, but it kind of lost itself a little bit there. Kind of chopping along at the bottom here. Russell's hitting the low of the day. NASDAQ low of the day. S&P low of the day. And the Dow is kind of rolling back over. And the Russell wants to break 50. Under above 52 and a half, it actually changes to an uptrend. Do have to get higher highs and higher lows though to actually be in a trend. And we're not there yet. If I were trading this morning anymore, I would. If you really want a really wild market, try the NASDAQ. If you want to try something that's a little more tame but still moves, the Dow is probably your best bet. I'm looking at the Dow right now being somewhat manageable. There goes the Russell. And we gave a belated buy signal on that one. Still probably want to get over 52.5. I did establish a higher low. NASDAQ needs to get over 74.90. It has established a higher low and I guess a higher high here because it went above this 82.5 level. Would really be nice to get over 90. Just can't get out of its own way. The momentums look pretty good on the NASDAQ. In the Russell here. They are moving up from below. And we do have overhead resistance, but with the momentum we could get some short covering. We probably already had some already. And yeah, I really believe this 91 level needs to be taken out on the NASDAQ first before you think of any longs. Again, with our bias out there, that's why I was looking short. Rallies were shortable. $10.08. Russell doing a nice pullback up off of this breakout level of 62.5. If we've got a hold here, right at about 51, and we could then look pretty decent on the long. Again, you got all this stuff over to the left, but doesn't mean it won't work. Momentums look okay. Now remember what we saw in the T2122. We were in a bounce zone. And what are we looking at so far? Kind of leveling off. Okay, Dow's going lower. Breaking the, set a new low with a sell signal. Let's see though. Yeah. Maybe 13 to 15 ticks lower. All right. My mom's freaking out. She got a message from the bank. Let me call her real quick, and I'll be right back. Good morning, my dear. I was actually supposed to call you the last 2 days, but by the time I remembered to do it when the baseball games were over, it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I figured that might be a little too late. Um, right. I guess I spaced out in September. But what you got from that Zelle, that's a transfer. All you have to do is, I think, say yes or accept it, and you'll get your $2,250 in your account. I understand, but I was going to tell you. Oh well, you say it's gone. The message. Have you gone into the Have you gone into the messages? The little green on the lower right hand corner. No messages. It would either be a set of numbers or say B of A, but it'd probably just say like 050 dash 123. Well, I'm, Mom, I'm trying to moderate the trading room right now. So okay, right, but I mean, could you just, I told him I'd be talking to you. What I'm saying is, can you put your phone on speakerphone? Okay, you don't know how to do it? Okay. Take your phone away from your ear and look at it in the upper right hand corner. It looks like a speaker. Punch the speaker.
Got it, got it.
Great. Now hit that home button once, really lightly. Just tap it.
Push home?
Yeah, punch that home button at the bottom. There's a circle at the bottom. That's called the home
Yes,
button.
where it has a phone?
No, it on the black edge at the bottom. There's a button. Punch the button. It's called the home button.
There's not a home.
No, it's not on the screen. Hello, mother. Listen, it's not on the screen. It's that button where you move around. How do I say this? If you put your thumb on that black stuff across the bottom, there's a button on the phone, a physical button. Do you see it?
No, there's nothing there.
No, you have to. It's physical. It's actually a physical button you punch every day. You know what I mean by a button, right?
I know what?
You know what a button is?
Here.
Okay.
There's
That
a red button.
no,
And a phone in it.
no, dear. We're not talking about anything on the screen.
Okay.
It's actually on the phone itself. It's a real physical button. That one you hit at the bottom to clear.
What's at bottom?
At the very bottom where you clear. Hit that once. Tap it once.
Yes.
And now it takes you to the screen.
No, it didn't. No, it did.
Okay, because you finally hit it. It has a green across the top telling you you're on the phone call. Okay.
Okay.
Not a
Push
problem.
to return call.
Now listen.
Yeah.
No, okay. Now go on the right hand side and hit the messages button.
Do what?
Messages are on the lower right hand corner. It looks like a cloud where somebody's talking.
Do I touch the green at the top?
No, do not touch the green at the top yet.
It's just a message.
Just on the green in the lower right hand corner.
Okay, then all it did was go back to yours in 2 minutes.
Okay. Now you need let me say. Now you need to hit on the upper left hand corner. There should be a blue back arrow just below the green next to my name.
Yeah, I got it.
Click it once.
Okay.
Now you're at the list.
Whatever.
Now you're.
Okay, I got the second call, right? Push that one.
It should have some numbers, either B of A or Zelle, or
No, it says 581-89.
okay.
And
Click
then
on that one.
call.
Click on that one.
Okay, now it came back.
That's the one that says you got a message from Zelle. What does it say?
It says reply, stop to end, message, or help for help.
You don't want to hit stop. You don't necessarily want help. Does it ask you if you just say yes or not?
What's that?
Does it ask you to say yes?
No.
Okay, then use the back arrow and back out of it. Let me double check on your account. I think the money's already in your account, and that was just to tell you that you got a that you got a transfer from me. It's instant, and let me check your balance. I think you got $14,000 or $15,000.
Okay, then I deposited the money from my withdrawal from my IRA.
Yes, you did. 4,800 and 4,809.60.
Yeah.
And Allegro took out their 4,200.
Okay.
That took you down to 12,500, and I'm rounding it off. And I paid you
Yeah.
$2,250. That'll put you back up to 14,700 or so.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I just wanted, and I want to call you later. Teresa and I want to take you out to dinner on Saturday.
This coming Saturday?
Is that okay?
No.
No?
That's football.
There's football every Saturday.
That's on all the people.
No. Which ones are you talking about?
This coming Saturday.
No, tomorrow. The Arkansas game's at noon.
I know that, but I watch all of them.
So there's no...
I can take the ones I want to watch. I'll go with you guys.
Right, because what we wanted
You'll
to...
call me later and say what time?
Yeah, I think we'll probably show up at your place around 5. Teresa has to work, but we would go out around 5 to 6. And
Okay.
what I want to do is I want Teresa and you and I to have the conversation about how what's the best to start the long term.
Long-term care.
Yes, because if we don't do it now, we won't be able to talk to her probably till January.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Okay, we can talk about it.
Right, you just talk about it. That's all we are, just to
Right.
so that we have it all in our head.
All right.
All right, love you. Sorry about the confusion.
Okay, love you too.
All right, now in the up, wait it. Well, as soon as I hang up, you'll be disconnected. Okay,
Okay.
bye. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Old people are computer challenged, technologically challenged there. We really haven't done anything in the NASDAQ right now. I'm looking at and we're just chopping. Same thing in the Russell. Same thing in the S&P. And a grind lower in the Dow. So that time really didn't hurt us any. Thank you very much for allowing me to do that. My mother was freaking out. She got a message from the bank, and she didn't know what it meant. I guess 87 years old. It doesn't take much to get them concerned. Thank God I'm close to her and I can help her. Well, she did not try to come into the computer age for a long time. She let my father do everything like that. She took everything. She did keep track of all of her monies, but would never do them online. She always did it in the old-fashioned way, by paper. And you know how you have patience with everyone except your family? Yep, that's me. And trying to describe her, I tried to describe what the home button was on the iPhone. She said, I don't see any buttons. And I said a physical button. you know, the one you hit all the time. And then she tried to, was it green? I said, no. It was funny. Partly. Oh boy. Are we having fun yet? Oh yeah, Alan, Dodger Blue. For whatever reason, I think that is a legitimate color. All right, NASDAQ looks like it's heading up to the top of a trading range. And if you really want to look at this as far as the times, I've got my full screen off outside the camera level. It's showing 22 minutes and we're bouncing. I mean, it's just, we have a lot of volatility out there today. So be very careful if you're trading. You may want to reduce your size. If you normally trade 2 or 4 contracts, you may want to lower that just a bit. And another thing you may want to consider is sitting on the sidelines. You could also trade you could trade a less volatile instrument. Or you could go over to the crude oil. Whoa, crude oil took off around 10. Yeah. Right at 10 o'clock, it took off from 74.22 to 88. Wow. Now it's pretty much stabilized. I wonder if there was some sort of news in crude oil. Doesn't normally move that quickly and then stop. Let's look at live news. U.S. trade deficit widened in August. Okay. Would have totally expected that with a lot of imports. Ah, okay. A lot of Iranian news and stuff. Okay. Thanks, Pablo. It's where it takes a lot of eyes on the market. That's what I love about in a trading room. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't need a trading room. I do my own thing." I went, well, yes, you do your own thing. You can trade it, but if one person picks up one bit of information that you don't, then that's useful. Then it's paid its dividend. Here we go. Breakout trying in the Nasdaq. Sorry, the Dow YM. Does have a bunch of stuff overhead, but momentums look pretty good. Let's look at a level of around 630 or so. See what happens if it gets when it gets up there. The momentums look really good. The Dow was my trading instrument of choice the last 3 or 4 days. I didn't trade it the last 3 or 4 days, even though I told everybody in the pre-market I was going to, or that I should. Dare to be stupid. what to make of this NASDAQ. It's running away. All right, the NASDAQ is at about 07 to 10, 75.10. It's going to run into some congestion that we hit at 950 on that first drop. That first drop that I traded to, and then it leveled off at a swing level. So right about here, 03. I wish I could show you my my chart. In fact, I can. Let me pull it over. All right. Here's the NASDAQ big picture chart. We got up to the swing level. Looks like we're pulling back. And the other levels are up here at the highs of the day. Okay. And crude oil is pulling back after that big run up. We basically come full circle twice in oil since the open at 9 o'clock. We had an opening range 74.50 plus or minus about 10. And then now, I don't know, then we went to a low of about 73.63 and a high of about 75. Oil will close, I think, around 1:30, something like that, the oil pits. Let me find out. $2.30, open outcry, the pit session, 9 a.m. to 2:30 New York. I didn't realize it, but there's a daily price limit of $10 per barrel. Then trading is halted for 5 minutes. Then it expands for another 10. And if another halt was triggered, wow. They do a 5 minute pause, and then there's no limit to how many times it can pause. Yikes. All right, Dow's coming back down. Sorry, that's Russell. Dow is coming back down as well. S&P down. That NASDAQ is absolutely amazing. The volatility there. There's a 1 minute chart on the NAS. Crazy. Yeah, the old Russell breaking by the new lows. It needs some follow through though. That's the old grandpup barking, not the big dogs. Looks like the Nasdaq may be trying to get back into chop. S&P kind of in chop. Dow same. Russell still weak. Are we in sync yet? Yes, yes. Just keep checking these charts. I have no earthly idea why the charts keep getting behind. It happened to be on another chart off screen as well. Yep, digesting the big moves. Well, I know it's fundamental, but the fact that the jobs data was not super hot, was actually a bit muted, is not a bad thing here. The other thing is you got to look at the 4 week moving average, because that number could be revised next week or so, or maybe next month. I guess it is. They do them. That could be revised again. So that's just kind of a first snapshot. I was starting to get a little bit concerned that we were going to get wage inflation popping in. Doing my exercise isometrics here from the back. Okay, we got a short signal popped in on the NASDAQ. It could possibly work. The R squeeze is a little bit extended, but hey, with the volatility we've had here, I don't think anything's out of the question. Yeah, it's got this swing level it's trying to break. You made it break 83.5 or so, the low of that candle there. Yeah, it's going to break lower. Chop City in the Dow and the S&P, grinding lower in the Russell. It's trying to do a double bottom there, but who knows? Not a big double bottom, you know. It's only about 4 candles ago. Well, NASDAQ refused to go lower. All right, we're between 10:30 and 11. You know what that means. We could get some sort of movement, rally, or sell-off any moment between now and about 11:15. NASDAQ back in chop. S&P Dow in chop. Russell in the grind lower, but trying to do a double bottom. Third time down here to 74.86 level for the NASDAQ. Watch it, see if it fails. Key level there is about 74.81. Below 81, it drops lower quickly. See if we get any reaction bounce here, or we just slice through this level. Russell grinding lower. The bulls are trying to defend this level in the NASDAQ. It's not going to work. They're going to go lower. We busted through 81. The target could be as low as 71. Anyone other than me take trades today? Just curious if anybody else is as foolish as I was. There we go. Well, yeah, it worked out, but you know, a lot of volatility out there. Okay, here we go. Keep going. We kind of probably get a little reaction here because in the NASDAQ because of that swing level around 77, right there, and there's another one. The target level will be right here around 71. These swing levels work. If I could just make myself be patient enough to wait for them. Wait for the right setup. Above 81, it'll probably negate itself. It could do a zigzag lower, but it looks like it's going to go higher. Get people short and then run it against them? Is that what happened? NASDAQ just had a volatility flip. That's what that orange carrot is here, and the blue carrot is it flipped to down. And there is an orange flip up back there. This kind of gives an idea you're really in chop. Well, it gave a long signal belatedly in the NASDAQ. I don't believe it. Too close to chop. Dow, basically in this range here from about 640 down to 575. Let's see if it stays in that range or not. NASDAQ looks to be in a downward grind. As evidenced by the very slight decline in the trend. NASDAQ just gave another short signal. It's kind of a neutral land, so it might work. Will we finally get down to our 71? We got to 75 or so. There's 76. Potential double bottom if they want to try to defend it. New low in the Russell. Dow's attacking the low of the day. S&P pretty close to it. Looking weak again. Dow new day low. Now a bounce. Are you short, Pablo? Potential continuation pattern developing on the NASDAQ, but it's got to have a red candle right here. Which way is she going to go? Are you short the Dow or what, Pablo? In queue. Okay. All right. We'll be. I'll put my pull out my pom poms and put on my little cheerleader uniform here. Got to stay below 82. The momentum and the R squeeze are kind of in neutral land. Not looking so good there, Pablo. Still in a downtrend, but very gradual. Getting reversion to the mean bounces. All right, now you can die hard. I want 71. You hear me? All right. Right here. Got to get it through here through 75. The bulls will try to step up. There's 74. Now, here's 73. There's 73. Do I say 72? 72, 72. 71. There's 71 to target. Nice patience there, Pablo. Now watch out. We're at the lows of the day. 67. See if it slices through it. All right. Let's S&P new day low. Dow new low. Russell new low. Nasdaq new low. Here's the sell-off that we looked at. Okay, between 10:30 and 11. Yeah, let's. Do you have an ultimate target there, Pablo? Looks like you're getting a reaction here. Trail volatility stops at 69.75. Swing level we broke through was right here around 68. The momentum oscillator is still pointing lower. Trend is still lower. Our squeeze is not ridiculous. It's only down at 10. You're out? Okay. Nice trade, sir. S&P's going towards the low of the day. Actually, the pre-market session around 8:30, 8:40 when we went to the post announcement news. Look at what happened in the post announcement. The first 3 minutes were up. Wow. Nasdaq new day lows, 58. We had a continuation pattern right there where you got out. Not saying, hey, not trying to say anything other than just pointing out the fact that we got a pattern. It didn't look so great when the candle got up there, the wick. Then it went right back down. Similar to what we're getting right here, right now. They do say that we should try to let the candle finish. You only had one contract? Well, then that's fine. You did about as good as anyone could ever hope. Unless you just kind of let it all hang out. I'm going to go mute for a second, and I need to step aside for just 2 minutes. Yeah, just step away for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Is Muffin here? Oh, big steak. Sit down. Sit down, please. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. Have you been fed? You have breakfast yet? Come on, guys. Ready? Buddy, come on. No? Buddy, you not feeling well? You want some fruities? Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah. Well, well, well. Have we pretty much, have the markets pretty much exhausted themselves to the downside? Let me go look at the dailies again. Thank goodness I got out of my Costco a while back. Crude oil still hanging in there. I think it's consolidating. S&P now it's down 4. This weakness is going to continue for a little bit. I think we want the 50. Just happens to be right about the rising 50 is going to hit us around 28.90 or so. Nasdaq's down 50. It's down to 42. I think it wants the volume point of control, but maybe not. Maybe it'll just hold a little bit on the other side of the 50. Russell, oh boy. The 1633 looks like it's in play. Dow down 99. $26,350 in play for the Dow. We're just getting a probably a a sell-off before we get into earnings season. Earnings season will start next Friday with the big banks, money center banks, J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, those kind of things. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's because we had a really wild swing range right around the monthly jobs numbers. I was surprised when I went back to look at it just a few minutes ago that the first reaction was the upside. And $8.30. It wasn't to the upside. Oh, wait a minute. It sure was. 8:30. This is 8:30. The computer generated trades. All right, let me show you 1 minute on the trading block. That right there was 1 minute on the Dow from 62. So sorry, yeah, 622 all the way up to 730. That's 100 Dow points instantly. Wow, and then gave half of it back. You said the Nasdaq's on the edge. Well, equal high, higher low, equal high, higher high, higher low. That's what these things are showing.